And still staying in that region, we'll tell you that Paul Rusesabagina, who was portrayed as a hero in the Hollywood film Hotel Rwanda, has arrived in Qatar after being released from prison in his home country, Rwanda. A White House official said Rusesabagina left Rwanda on Monday and had arrived in the Qatari capital, Doha. Talks brokered by Qatar led to his release from prison over the weekend, 2 years after he was sentenced to 25 years for terrorism. His supporters call the trial a sham. The sentence was commuted by presidential order, according to a government spokesperson. It followed years of diplomatic pressure by the US, where Rusesabagina had lived since 2009. And let's go to Southern Africa, where, as Human Rights Month comes to an end in South Africa, a group of young people has found their voice in instilling a spirit of Black pride, confidence, excellence, and self-love among Black communities. Inspired by the principles of racial pride, autonomy, and self-determination, Black on Purpose, a campaign which was launched on Human Rights Day, targets 20 to 45-year-olds with the aim to alleviate all forms of racism, self-diminishing, and building a society that has respect for humanity. And now to speak more on this, we're joined by Director of Black on Purpose, Neo Koloane. Thank you, Neo, for joining us.
Hi, thank you for having me here. I am truly honored for the invitation.
It's a pleasure to have you, Neo. Now, Neo, what more can you tell us about the Black on Purpose campaign?
So the Black on Purpose campaign is really inspired by our African people and the need to spread the spirit of Ubuntu, which is spreading unity amongst Africans, and really to stop separating ourselves into racial groups and see ourselves as one African. And I feel that that's the only way that we will move as a nation and to build a society that respects humanity at large.
Okay, you also talked about separation into racial groups. I mean, what are some of the experiences that Black people in South Africa have faced that have somehow diminished their pride?
Yeah, and I feel that we suffer from racial and historical racial stereotypes that have been placed on Black people, and that's due to apartheid. But I feel that in this modern day era, we are still experiencing that amongst our own Black people, where we self-diminish and we have separated ourselves as Africans into different racial groups. And we start having unsavory conversations and point of views amongst ourselves as Africans and people of the same color. And I feel that that also played a role in Black people and Africans as a whole in looking down on ourselves and not believing that we are more than capable of performing at a global stage.
All right, Neo, talking about the activities that are performed during the Black on Purpose campaign, what are these activities? And looking at the target age, are there different activities for the elderly, different for the younger one? How is it done?
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, so we're targeting people from the ages of 20 to 45. So it will predominantly be the youth, but we'll also be targeting the older generation. So some of those activities include our targeted campaign, and it's called Inspire to Aspire. So this will host a series of walks where we go to communities and we encourage young Black professionals in South Africa to really play a role in delivering service delivery. And we will be doing these walks in communities where they will be going to local municipalities and they will be handing out mandates so that we address all of these issues that we encounter in our communities. But I think the most important thing is to really tackle the issue of the high rates of youth unemployment in South Africa and Africa as a whole. So with these events, we want to do motivational talks where we will also encourage young professionals to actually offer bursaries to education students in high schools, and we want them to offer learnerships as well. And these series of talks will also be at higher education institutions. So it's not limited to any industry. So it's from education, it's arts and culture, and yeah, even sports. So it's really not limited. But we aim to do these activities in order to instill that spirit of Ubuntu and bring back that confidence in ourselves as Africans and really acknowledge the power that we have within ourselves as Africans. And I believe that we are the most talented and well-gifted nations out there.
All right, Neil, still talking about instilling the spirit of Ubuntu, if I got that right. Now, this is no longer the apartheid region, so it's safe to say that a lot of people would want to, throw in their supports. But I'd like to ask you, how has the turnout been in terms of support from organizations, from individuals, the membership and all of that? How has it been?
Yes, I'm glad you actually addressed that issue because we are still struggling to get support and that's why we're still encouraging professionals out there to engage and actually take part in this initiative because we are not just doing it for a certain group of people, but this is doing it for humanity as a whole. And we really still encourage professionals out there to offer whatever service that they can in terms of contributing to skills development and creating a self-sustaining country as a whole.
All right, Director of Black and Purpose, Neil Doluane, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me here. I am truly blessed.